Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Melida Harris Barrow. How are you guys doing today? Well, I have to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was not going to come on tonight. I was feeling kind of blah, and I hate to feel this way, but I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I feel much better. Much better. Sometimes things happen, where you just feel weird and you just feel that that you don't want to do something. And I had to fight this feeling tonight. I really do. I had to fight this feeling. Notice I didn't have a topic for today. I've been feeling that way all day. And I went into prayer. Oh my God, look at all of you waiting and I fooling around. But I have to be honest, I feel better now. I really do. I feel better. And it's not something that happened to me or anything. I just think is that darn negative force trying to tell me, you don't need to do the show tonight. And this is me. Yes, I do. So those of you that are feeling this way and you don't know how to battle this, just do it. Just do what you say you're going to do in the beginning, so you don't hear those little voices saying, don't do it, don't do it. When you hear those voices saying, don't do it, don't do it, do it, so that voice can go away. So I want to thank all of you tonight. Let me see who is on. My girl Sally, as usual. My girl Gloria, how you doing? I know I'm Birdie. I know you guys are always on. So, that's what motivated me to come on tonight, because I just, I feel better. I feel much better, Sally, because I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the heck happened. I was just sitting there going, I don't feel like doing the show. I'm not going to do this. I'm good, Ay. But then when I'm thinking about all you guys that come on every week, I can't do this. And actually, I don't have a topic, but God gave me a topic like 10 minutes ago while I was praying. He's like, talk about my children. Talk about my children. So I'm just going to speak about our children and what they're going through, because I think it's important now for us to be a little bit more serious in what's going on in the world. And I am really praying hard for all the children in the world. I don't care where they're from. I am praying for God's children. God told me, pray. This is what was coming in my mind. I was just hearing that. Just pray for my children. My children are going through so much. And I'm going to tell you something. Years and years ago, I was watching television, right? And, it was like 2 a.m. and, they always have these programs with children in Africa with all these flies on them. And they're videotaping these kids crying, hungry. You see, I couldn't do that. I could not videotape a child that's crying and that's hungry. And this is done for publicity, but I cannot have that heart to do that. So I told myself years ago that instead of criticizing what they're doing, make it better. Go do something. And that's what I've been doing for years. I've been helping children. I have been just giving my heart and teaching them how to survive in this world. And then the young ones now, all I can do is give the mother love and make her have the love for her to have love for her children. And that's what I've been doing for years. So tonight I just want to talk about our children out in the world. They're suffering. I was talking to one of my youth ambassador, Ethan Udom, in Nigeria. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was expressing all of the things that are happening in Nigeria, at least in his district. And the pain, I could hear the pain there. And this is the pain that I was listening to. This young man is, he attends the university in Nigeria. And he was telling me that the school is on strike because the federal government is not paying the funds for the kids, to open back the school. So when I think about those things and when I'm listening to him, it aches me because there are children that wants to go to college and the building is shut down because the funds are going in the wrong hands and the funds are going to the wrong places. So when I heard him talking, it's like I thought about that all night, that desire to go to school. And there's so many others that say they don't want to go to school. And there are others around the world that just want to get a degree and do something with their lives. So I've decided that as a youth ambassador, I told him when I get to Nigeria, I already have a youth ambassador program, but I'm going to extend it. I am going to have a curriculum. I already spoke to someone about that, and I am going to go throughout the world with this curriculum. The curriculum is not about a child, because this is what's going on today. This is like ultimate solutions for our children, which is in the wrong direction. That these children feel that they have to be in the government in order to make money, in order to have a better life. And that's not true. And they're being taught that when you get there, steal as much as you can and run. That is not true. Because see, if you keep doing that, your country is not going to survive. It's going to, it is what it is today. And we have to change that mentality for our children. I am telling you how serious this is. Our children now are exchanging, when I was growing up, it was about values, it was about morals, it was about all these things. And today it's about just money. It's about having the most expensive things. So our children today are, they are thinking more on the material things than making a better nation, because I look at those, and I'm going to say this, I look at those that all of you that's in the government right now and you're stealing, but your children are going to private schools and your children are doing, the best of the best. Laws change. It changes because when you're gone, you don't know what's going to happen to your child. So what I am saying is, instead of just focusing on your child, focus on the children in the world. And I'm going to tell you why. Because even though that you're giving your child a better education today and you're focusing only on your child, so many things can change. Because I remember during the Holocaust, what I've read, things were taken away. People died. When I think about slavery, how many children were passed around like dogs, beaten? And we think that can't come back again. It can come back, And I'm worrying about that because our children are facing crisis today. Like when I'm talking crisis, there are mothers right now that are dealing with their children disabilities, they're dealing with their children trying to cope. The children are trying to cope with what's going on. They have this fear in going to school because of all the shootings that's been happening. They're still going through therapy. Can you imagine really what's going on in the world? I have to be honest because when I was young and I had my children, I was just focusing on my children. When I say focusing on my children, I was focusing on their well-being. But then there were other children in the neighborhood that I also focus on. I remember they would knock on my door and some of them would tell me they didn't eat or they don't have anything to eat. And I would just always make a big pot of soup or or whatever it may be, and I share. Until today, those young men will still call me today and still thanking me, right, for giving them that plate of food, counseling them, doing that. So I saw that it worked. I'm telling you something that worked. So if I could do that back then, I was focusing on my children, yes. But at the same time, I did not realize that when they knocked my door, I would say, come on in, grab some food. When they come at my door with problems, I would counsel them. But I didn't realize at that time what I was doing. But today, I see that result. The result is they still call me. They call me mom. They Mother's Day, they are sending things and they're calling me. So I know that worked. So if that worked, and I'm doing that internationally, I know when one person can make a change in so many children's lives. Let me tell you something. I have youth ambassadors, and I want to mention some of their names because these young people impress me just by the little information that I'm sharing with them. I want to mention Mibsar Powell from Panama. This young lady, she's part of my organization, Love, Truth, and Peace. And she was able twice thus far, was able to get toys for children that needed toys. And she called me, she says, Mom, I have these toys that I was able to get and I want to share it. And she did. This past holiday, during the Christmas, she did that. That's what I'm teaching my ambassadors. Jean Quijano from Panama also. When he started out with me, he started out just drawing cartoons and stuff on his t-shirts. Now he is a designer, an international designer from Panama. Yes, Jean Quijano, Mibsat Powell. She's a nurse and she's an entrepreneur and she's helping the young people in Panama. Let me keep going because these kids need to be mentioned. Ethan Uram in Africa, in Nigeria, powerful young man, right? He wants to help his community, but you know what the children and the young people are telling him? They're telling him, if you don't pay me, I'm not listening to hardly anything that you have to say. Because you see, our children already been controlled, their mind. So we have to go back and reset that mind to its normality. So he's having a difficult time to even tell them, look, we can be entrepreneurs. And they're saying, no, we need a job. But they don't realize the teachings that he have received from me. Let's talk about Carlton. Carlton, yes, Gordon in San Andres, Colombia. Also one of my other youth ambassadors, Alfredo Escalona, also from the same place. These are young men that are helping the youth, young men that's entrepreneurs, moving and shaking. I want to thank you guys, because you guys have done so much. Oh, Peter Bolton from Ghana. A year or 2 years ago, you know what this kid did? He got a whole lot of goods and took it to Ghana for the children because that's where he's from. He's continuing to do these things. What I'm saying to all of you tonight, these young people need help. They need help. They are doing, but the adults are watching them doing. And we have to stop that. We have to contribute to these young people. We can no longer watch our children suffering in a man-made crisis. Man has created the crisis. Let me tell you. And let me mention also Bertie Haggerty, my colleague. She has started a program with children, for children to go and visit senior citizens, for them to interact, for the senior citizens to feel like they're still alive. Wonderful program. We have a lot of great people out there. Lakeisha, you have been doing so much to help the women out there. I want to thank all of you for doing what needs to be done. But we need more people. We need more people to do the great job that you guys are doing. We need to provide the teens with quality mentors. We need the mentors. Encourage them in all the things we know that they can do. We need to teach them goal settings techniques so that way they will have something to look forward to. Show teens how to manage their emotions because of the crisis that they're going through. I have a friend of mine that just called me and said she needed assistance and help with her son because he's having crisis. Let me tell you something, guys. We cannot keep watching what's happening in the world. When I watch my young people telling me that they don't have no dreams and they don't have nothing to look forward to, mothers and fathers telling them, come on, you have to go to church. But this is what's happening when they go to church. They're watching everybody in the church fighting, gossiping, talking about each other, trying to just make a buck, you know. They see crisis also in the church. So this is why they pull away, you see. So when they're watching all the wars that's going on, the deep economic crisis that's happening with their parents, but yet watching a church grow, multi-million-dollar churches growing, but the family barely can eat. There is no excuse for these dark realities in the 21st centuries. We have to make a change. We have to do something. You know, when I didn't come on, when I was thinking not to come on, is because I think my heart was so, I was just feeling bad. I'm going to be honest with you, because when I come out on this show and I'm saying and I'm teaching and I'm doing all these things, I sometimes wonder, am I really touching people's heart to make a change? Most countries today are depending on humanitarian assistance for these children to survive, for people to survive. People now are crossing from one country to the next trying to survive. Years ago, I dreamt that I was flying over a nation and I'm just seeing people on the bottom, just walking. But I'm seeing it today when nations are falling apart, government are being in a crisis where people don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to say. They don't even know what to tell their children. There's a psychological effects of disaster with our children. You see, when your child lives through a disaster, what's happening in Yemen and all these different countries, when they're seeing all these crises, when your child becomes dysfunctional, is because of all what's happening today. You see, my youth around the world, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. This is not about going to be getting your college degree and just trying to get a job, because as you can see, how many of you are at home right now? How many with a college degree, with a master's degree, right? How many of you? There's a crisis going on in the world with our children. So in order for your child that's going to a private school, that going to the best college, don't think that that crisis cannot happen to you. So we have to start figuring out what is it that we're going to do. Let's talk about the solutions here, because my show is not to just talk about the crisis. This is what we need to do. Instead of you just going to college and coming out to find a job, we have to provide you information to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. I'm going to just say that right now. but majority of you can. You were taught to work for somebody. That was put in your head. But I want to teach you how to become the entrepreneur that you can be. I don't care what career you're taking, you see, because I know you can do it. Take your talent and convert it into a business. Do something, because we are going through a bigger crisis. Look at Nigeria. The majority of the population are the young people. This is a crisis. There's a population of 190 plus, 95 million plus people, and the majority are the young people. The young people were taught to go get a job. But let me tell you something, my young people in Nigeria. You have such great talents. You have the Europeans coming into your country teaching you how to sell their products. You can do the same for yourself. And this is why I am going to go from nation to nation. Listen to me, people. And I want you to watch me, because I am going to do it. The dilemma of the youth in the world is in crisis. It's in crisis. And I have the answer. I am going to teach you entrepreneurship. I've done it to so many of our youth already. I am going to teach you. There's no need to be angry at the government. Don't be angry at the government. We have solutions that we can provide. You see, the elders in these countries that feel that the youth cannot participate in their government decisions, you're wrong. You are wrong. It is time for a change. You need to have your young people sitting there with you, training them. You know why? Because the kids that you are raising today might not make it like you. You see, you have the power now, right? But that power, it's only in your generation. Wait till when your great-grandchildren come to this earth, what's going to happen? They might not have the same opportunities like your children today. So what I'm saying to you is this: it is time for all of us to make a change. They have a program in Nigeria fighting for is a not too young to get a good job and be useful to the family and so forth. They passed some bill saying that no, it is not about just getting a job. It's about creating one for you and for the nations. If you continue to just think that it's about getting a job, guess what's going to happen? You will always be enslaved for the rest of your life. And I know that's not what you want. So what I'm saying is, I've developed a program, and these are for youths in the world, because I want to teach the world. God gave me that. God gave me that tonight. And what we are going to do is, from your country, we are going to bring in ambassadors to teach you, like my young man, Ethan Udom, and some other young people in Nigeria. We're going to teach you how to do it. This thing about, I got to get paid to go to school. I got to get paid to listen to you. We're going to stop all of that. We are going to create our system, the system that is going to break you from bondage. It is time. It is time, my people, to help our young people. All these things, our young people around the world are just sitting back, man. It is griping me. It is hurting me. But I have the solution, and the solution is going to take place very soon. Very soon. I feel good. I feel better, because I know what my young people can do, only if you give them the opportunity. So all of you that is in office today, stealing the money, doing the negative things, and passing laws not to have a young man be in business or do the things that they're supposed to do to take care of their family, guess what? It's going to change. because I am going to make a change. I also want to say thank you to Diego Rodriguez from Cali, Colombia. He just started with me. Bernice Smith, she just started with me. They're part of my youth ambassador program. I have hundreds, but I am going to tell you, and all these young people are doing great. First of all, what I do, let me tell you what I do. I counsel them first because we have to change that mindset. The second thing I do, I give them a position. They're under internship, but sometimes that internship, they can get paid as well while they're learning. There is no reason why we cannot. And if you want to help me, please, you're welcome to do so because I'm going to need all the help that I can. It is time to change the world. God didn't put me on this earth to only watch crisis, to watch our children die, to watch our children being injected with HIV, to watch our children being killed from shooting them by police officers. No, that is not why God created us to watch and brought us here on this particular earth to just watch our children die. It's over. It is over. If you want to sit there and you want to watch me travel around the world and help our youth, you can do that. But those of you that want to help me, you're welcome to do so because our children need us. They need us. I am telling you, private schools are not going to help them. Because you can have your children in a private school, and when he drives out of here, he can be killed. Your child could be in a private school, and a man walks in there and blow up the whole place. That's where we are going. So this is not about your private school. This is not about, I know you want the best education for your children, but the education that they're receiving, it is not to empower the world. It is not to change the world. It is to keep it the same way it is because of what they're being taught. It is what they're being taught. And that is the thing. There's so many kids that are being molested. We're watching and we're not saying anything. There's so many kids that have been molested and now they can't even function in the world. We need to go back and help those young people. That's what it's about. There's so many of them in prisons. There's so many of our young people in prison, innocent. And you know why? Because there are police officers that are arresting these children because that's where they want them to be, because the prisons now have been privatized. Why? Who owns these prisons? Tell me now. Who owns these prisons that are privatized? When they put our children in there, they have manufacturer companies that's providing the soap, the water, the clinical, the hospital section that they have there, the commissary. Who is in control of this whole damn system? Who? Who is in control of this whole system? The mattress, the toilet, all the fixtures in prison. It's a game that is being played on our children and our men especially. And this is not just in America, this is in the world. You have created a crisis in the country on all these places. Look at Venezuela, look at Puerto Rico, look at Nigeria, look at Libya, and I can keep going. Look at the United States. You have created a system, a small number of you, to destroy the world. And what are we doing? Every day, we're watching the news, CNN, watching that news, watching every time somebody dies. They talk about it for 3 days, 5 days, 20 days, and guess what? It's done. Let's wait till another victim. Let's wait till we catch a police officer shooting a child from the back. Let's wait for that. Then the news come on. The more you watch the news, the more they make their money. It's a game, my people. And I know I'm going to get phone calls. I know I'm going to get threatened. You know what? I don't care. We have to break and renew our mind. That's what this show is about. You can't live a best life in a system like this. You need to change the system. And the system, let me tell you something, people. The system only works when you participate in it. Yes, it only works when you participate in it. So this is what we need to do. We need to change it. I need to change it. You need to change it. We all need to change it. I want to thank God tonight. I want to thank you, God, because I was not going to do this show. And I'm glad that I did, because I don't know who I touched. But I hope that I touched somebody to get up and move and to think. We don't think anymore. We stop thinking. We're just a driving force. Get up, go to work, deal with the crisis at work, because you're being attacked in every way, at work, at home, when you even go in a store, when you walk down the street, police are stopping you on the way home, on the way going to work. Do you realize the crises that are going on here? Do you really realize psychologically what you have to deal with every single day? I'm talking about everybody in the world. You don't know if you're going to be bombed at the school tomorrow. And I'm saying that because that's the reality. That's the world that we're living in today. That's the world that we're living in today. So I pray to God for those of you young people that are listening to me tonight. I want you to start thinking. And I want you to stay away from that Nintendo for a little bit. Why don't you make one? Create one. Get into business. If you're playing all day long, think about how you can make them, sell them, do something. But don't just sit there and let your mind go dead, because that's what they want you to do. If you're sitting there playing that game all day long, you're not functionable to deal in the world. They got you. They got you. Thank you very much. I'm so happy that I came on a show, and I want to thank all of you for watching, because I want to say this is really, to be honest with you, this is really serious. This is more serious than we think it is. We're fighting too hard to even survive. We can't even breathe. We can't even breathe. So I want to thank you once again. This is Living Your Best Life Now. Guess what? I have good news for you guys. I am getting ready to create my YouTube channel. Next week, I am going to tell you to subscribe to that YouTube channel, because that's where my new show is going. The new show is going to be called The Dr. Barrow's Show. It's going to be, it's not going to be live, but I'm going to continue to do live show to encourage you, motivate you, and so forth. But my new show is coming, and I am happy. I am so happy. You know why? Because I'm going to be able to interview people from around the world. I want to show you now. See, this whole year, the year of 2018, this is what I've been doing. Time to go to the next level. And that's when you know God is working with you. You're not in the same level. You got to move up. You got to give the punches and break down those walls. You see how I'm dressed today? I'm ready to fight the system. But when I say the system, I mean us. I mean us. I mean, we need to change the mindset. I mean us. You got me? Everybody, y'all got me? You got me? I love all of you. And I want you guys to tell your friends. I'm going to give you the information during the week to tune in to the Dr. Barrow Show coming soon. My God, I can't believe there are people already sponsoring my show. Can you imagine? And if you want to sponsor, please, I'm going to give you my email, Melida Barrow14@gmail.com, or you can call at my office at 954-253-4656. Those of you that have businesses, You can sponsor my show. Just the promos people are sponsoring. And you can do the same thing. The promos are going to come out once a week starting next week. And if you want to sponsor the show, you're welcome. Just call me, 954-253-4656. Visit my website, www.melidaharrisbarrow.com. And also you can purchase my book, Unveiling the Illusion. Where is it? Here we go. Unveiling the Illusion, Know Who You Are. This is an awesome book. This is my life. That's how I renewed my mind. I wrote it all here, and now I am being empowered, and I'm not waiting for no one to empower me but God. I was tired of waiting for people to empower me, push me, do all that. I'm empowering myself through the grace of God. Hey, I'm ready. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, Papi. I love you, my family. I love you guys. Good night. Good night, and have a blessed night. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it.